Okay, so now I've shown you how to switch cycle on and off. Let's go on to how to use one of the most, or two of the most useful tools in the so-called toolbox. I'm going to click on this little arrow here. Can you see there's a pointer tool there? Yeah, just made it go big for you. And you'll see if I click on that arrow, a list opens up with a bunch of tools underneath. Now, some of them are going to be really obvious, some of them aren't going to be so obvious. Let's start with the obvious ones. The eraser tool. Let me pick up that tool, click that, 3, 2, 1, it's gone. I'm going to hit Command Z, not Control Z, Command Z to bring that back again. Okay, so that's the eraser tool. That makes a lot of sense. It erases things. Now, let's then get the text tool. If I wanted to change the name of that, so I might call it strings 2. Okay, click outside, and it goes back to the pointer tool. So it only changes when it's the head of the tool, the pointer of the tool, only changes when it's actually hovering over a region. So that's the text tool. The scissors tool, I think, is going to be fairly self-evident. Yeah, if I was to put that there and click. Now I get this thing, it's telling me I'm going to chop some long notes in the middle, and I'm going to go shorten those long notes. In fact, no, I'm going to go split those long notes. So now you can see that that was that long region there is actually split into 2 regions. I'm going to undo that by hitting Command Z. In fact, I'll show you the other way. I go to Edit and Undo Divide. Okay, so the scissors tool can be very useful to you. And then the glue tool would glue bits back together again. The solo tool, well, I'll show you what the solo tool does. If I start my piece of music from the beginning, well, the solo tool will leave out for the time being. Let's go to the mute tool. Now the mute tool is incredibly useful. There's other ways of muting things, because if I mute that bit there, what you'll find is that the note or the region remains on the screen, but it gets greyed out, and so guess what? It doesn't play. Now I'm going to switch the cycle off for the time being by clicking the letter C. Oh, sorry, by clicking the letter C, and I'm going to play from bar 7, and you should see that the strings are still there, but they won't play. So the strings played the second time. They were there the first time, but they were greyed out, they were muted. So that's a very, very useful way of, if you're putting ideas into your workspace and you want to know, I wonder what it sounds like without that there. You can simply mute it rather than erasing it. Erasing is like a permanent erasure, whereas the mute is something that is like a temporary erase. Sit on the side, don't do anything, and then come back from the substitutes bench. Okay, so what I'd like you to do now is, having made an arrangement similar to this one with 2 loops and with 2 software instruments, I'd like you to play with the mute tool and the scissors tool to kind of create a kind of, you know, switching on and switching off sound. So you haven't got the same thing switched on all at the same time. Let me give you a demonstration. So let me go up there to the scissors tool. So I'm going to chop that there. I'm going to chop that there. Let's go keep. Right, so you can see that I have chopped both the kind of bleep track, the very top track, track 1, and the first loop, the turbocharger beat. I've chopped them at number 2 and at number 3. Now in fact I'm going to chop them again at number 4 and number 5. So now I'm going to go up here and get my mute tool there, and I'm going to do that. Okay, and let's play from the beginning. Here we go, and you should hear the bleep switch off, and when the bleep switch back on again, the beat should switch off, and then they will both come in again at bar number 4. Okay, so I'd like you to try something similar with that. Again, don't worry about trying to do anything too amazing or musical or the next Grammy winner or anything like that. Just kind of, I don't know, in a constructive way, kind of play around with the tools which are available to you without necessarily trying to produce, you know, your next #1 hit. Have fun.